Hello and welcome to Northumbrian Water Scientific Services. This is the sixth in a series of short videos designed to provide you with guidance on good sampling technique. In this video we're going to explore the recommended tap disinfection techniques to employ before you take any microbiological samples. In this sixth video we may make reference to other videos in the series, and when we do this we'll ensure that links to the reference videos are available at the foot of the playing window. In this video we have three specific learning objectives that we'd like you to achieve. Firstly, we'd like you to understand the importance of measuring residual baseline chlorine levels. Secondly, we'd like you to be clear on the correct time points at which to measure chlorine. And finally, we'd like you to become familiar with the double disinfection technique for disinfecting taps before you proceed with your microbiological sampling. Having followed the advice in video number 4 on selecting suitable sampling taps, you will already have removed any tap attachments and any removable tap inserts. Before sampling, it's important to establish a stable residual chlorine reading in the supply being sampled. This chlorine level will be used as a background indicator value to demonstrate that we've returned to normal residual chlorine levels following tap disinfection. If we didn't do this, then we wouldn't know if chlorine levels were artificially elevated by our tap disinfection chemicals when we took the sample. In this example, the baseline residual chlorine level has been measured at 0.3 milligrams per litre. Before taking any microbiological samples, it's important to thoroughly disinfect the sampling tap. This effectively minimises the risk that any bacteria residing in the tap will contaminate the sample. To disinfect a tap, you'll need the following items: a clean, stiff bristle brush, a 1% sodium hypochlorite solution, safety glasses, latex gloves, microbicidal wipes, kitchen roll, a Ziploc bag and a timer such as the one on your mobile phone. Ideally, taps should be disinfected using the double disinfection technique. This consists of 5 discrete steps that are run through twice in succession to achieve double disinfection. This technique has been found to reduce the risk of positive microbiological results due to inadequately disinfected taps. We'll now describe each individual step of the double disinfection process for you. The first step is to thoroughly clean and disinfect the tap using your stiff bristle brush and the 1% solution of sodium hypochlorite. Ensure that you're fully familiar with the hazards associated with your disinfection solution. Sodium hypochlorite is a strong alkali and can be particularly damaging to the eyes. Always wear safety glasses when handling sodium hypochlorite and other disinfectant chemicals. Also, be aware that hypochlorite will bleach any fabrics that it contacts, including customers' curtains and other furnishings that may be in the area. Step 2 involves supplementing the hypochlorite disinfection by wiping the inner and outer surfaces of the tap with a microbicidal wipe impregnated with a 70% solution of isopropyl alcohol. Step 3 requires the use of a wash bottle filled with 1% sodium hypochlorite solution to spray the outside of the tap and also to inject the solution up inside the tap spout. If the tap does not allow spraying up the spout, you can instead fill a small beaker with a hypochlorite solution and immerse the end of the tap within this for a minimum of 30 seconds. Step 4 is simply to wait for a timed period of at least 2 minutes to give the hypochlorite sufficient contact time to disinfect the tap. Step 5 involves flushing the tap, allowing the water to run to waste for at least 10 seconds. These 5 steps represent one single disinfection cycle. To achieve double disinfection, they should be repeated once more in full. Once the 5 steps have been repeated in full, you have achieved double disinfection of the tap. After the double disinfection cycle has been completed, the tap should be run to waste for a minimum of 30 seconds to purge any residual hypochlorite solution. This should be checked by measuring the residual chlorine value. If the result is more than 0.1 milligrams per litre over the original background chlorine level, it suggests that the hypochlorite solution has not been fully purged and that further flushing is required. In this example, the post-disinfection chlorine level has been measured at 0.6 milligrams per litre. Clearly, this is more than 0.1 milligrams per litre higher than the residual chlorine reading we took before disinfecting the tap. As such, the 30-second flush has proved inadequate. Consequently, the tap should be reflushed for a further 4 minutes to purge any remaining hypochlorite solution. Once chlorine levels have returned to pre-disinfection baseline, you're ready to proceed with your microbiological sampling. This brings us to the end of this video. As promised, we've explored the importance of measuring residual baseline chlorine levels, the correct time points at which to measure chlorine, and the double disinfection technique for disinfecting taps before microbiological sampling takes place. Now that you've correctly disinfected the sampling tap, it's time to move on to video number 7, which focuses on how to take your microbiological samples.